You see, in Jesus' context, this was an alarming thing to say, and in keeping with all of the alarming things that Jesus was saying in the Sermon on the Mount. Here's what I mean. In the Greco-Roman philosophical world of Jesus' day, the inner soul of a person was actually divorced from one's outward actions. For Greeks, one's actions were just separated from one's inner motivations. They were different and distinct and unaffected by one another, or so they thought. However, in the biblical view of things, the inner soul and the outer soul, they were connected. They were intertwined. There was a holistic understanding of one's humanity that held the inner and outer lives in tandem. As a matter of fact, oftentimes in the Bible, the word for heart and the word for soul, they were used interchangeably and referred to one's truest self. As theologian and author and seminary professor Glenn Stassen puts it, biblically, the heart is just not some inner self, but it's actually a relational organ. The heart is the seat of exchange between my inner motives and my motivations and my outward expression of those inner motives. When I act angrily towards someone, say a neighbor banging on the walls or something, my heart gets involved. It beats faster. When I've fallen in love, my life gets involved in the romance. The Bible and Jesus understands that our hearts and our lives, our inner life and our outer living, that they're connected. Consequently, to be pure in heart is more than simply ensuring that our motivations are proper. Our inner life, our souls, the inner quality of being, it's vital because from it flows our actions. However, neither is it enough simply to have the right actions. It isn't enough to do the right things, whatever those things are that you deem right. In other words, in contemporary vernacular, it isn't enough to simply say one's heart is in the right place. That's only half of what the Beatitude is commending. And neither is it enough to execute the right actions, whether those actions be a life of piety or a life of justice seeking. If not connected to godly motives, then it becomes another form of ceremonial purity done for the approval of one's collective tribe, and not an embodied confession of faith in the God of righteousness and justice. Jesus is continually focusing on matters of the heart and one's motivations for one's actions. What one does is incredibly important. And yet, time and again, Jesus exposes that the motives behind the actions are equally important to explore. Purity of heart in the biblical Beatitudes sense of the word and meaning involves integrity, a connection between outward action and inward thought, and integrity from the word integer, meaning the quality of being whole or undivided. It's where we get the word integrated. The challenge of this beatitude is also an invitation. And it's the invitation to live an integrated life, a life wherein our outward living is a reflection of our inward formation, where what we do and who we are in our souls share the same address in our bodies and our minds and our hearts. To be pure in heart is to have unity in one's skin, lacking any duplicity between your motivations and your actions.